Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. Cindy here from CLB Craft Creations. And this is the card project we're making today. Features the Birthday Bash Designer Series paper. And it also features the Celebration Set Big Day. This set you can get for free with a $50 purchase during Celebration. That's the only way you can get it, unfortunately. So I've got the wood mount stamp, but they also have it in clear. But let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to stamp our inside image first, and this is my card base is a piece of Whisper White cut at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and I'm going to use some Night of Navy and my Stampamajig because this is a wood mount stamp. I want to make sure that I get this lined up because I actually put my stamp on a little crooked when I was putting it on, so I want to make sure that I get this as straight as possible. Okay, so I use my Stampamajig, line that up. I think that looks as straight as I can get it. Okay, and I want this to dry before I start managing the card, so I want to get this done and then set it aside. Okay, oh, and that's perfect. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just set this aside to dry for a little bit. We will bring in our next piece, which is another piece of Whisper White cardstock, and this piece is 2 1/4 by 2.5. So 2.5 up here, 2 1/4 here. So it's almost a square. It probably could have, but the way that this stamp set is, I think it's probably a little off square, not square. So I'm going to use my Stampamajig with this as well. I actually did get this one on pretty straight, but because this piece of paper is so small, I want to make sure that I get this lined up just right. So get that in there, and we'll go ahead and move that gently. And again, with your Stampamajig, just make sure, one, that your images are going on the correct direction and that your paper does not move after you've lined up your image. Perfect. I love the Stampamajig. Okay, so that's done. Let's give that just a second to dry as well. Again, I don't want to smudge that ink. It stays wet just long enough that it could cause problems. So we're going to bring in our Designer Series paper. This, like I said, was the Birthday Bash Designer Series paper. And I'm going to use my Snail. Okay, and then I'll bring back in my card base. Just make sure that you're putting it on the right direction. And we're just going to center that up. Equal on all sides. Sorry, this piece is cut at 4 by 5 1/4, which is just leaving a 1/4 of an inch around or an 1/8 of an inch around the border, but it's a 1/4 of an inch bigger than the card itself. Okay, and now we'll go ahead and bring in our stamped piece. It looks pretty dry. Snail. Again, just be careful when you're handling it, just so that you don't smear your ink and waste all the time that you took to measure it out. Now, this piece is a piece of Night of Navy, and I have this cut just an 1/8 of an inch bigger, just because I wanted I really wanted the Designer Series paper to pop. So this piece is cut at 2 3/8 by 2 5/8, and it mats just, like I said, just a thin little border around. And I'm being careful to not touch the ink. I didn't get that on exactly straight. And then I went ahead and put some dimensionals on the back already. And before you know it, this card's going to be done. And again, you could do this, just like with my thank you notes, you can do this in basically all the colors that are in the set and have cards for the whole year. Okay, and I just centered that right in from the top and the bottom and then from the side to side. So there you go. Bring in my original. Just see the inside. So celebrate your big day with cake and a little bit of and perhaps a little ice cream. I hope that you liked today's card project. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. Thanks, guys.